Welcome back. My name is Bishonen, and this is Beyond All Reason. Casting another 8v8 for you today. Blue players on the left, the red players on the right. We're here at All That Smolders. Go ahead and introduce our players, shall we? They've all chosen their spawn locations. Here on the blue team, at the front, from left to right. Well, I should say top to bottom, since that's how we'll be looking at the game. We have Gronko, the Ballad Eater, Matlock, and Furfur 9020. In the back line, Iceman, Cat, O'Brien, and Escanor. On the red team, in the front, we have Linux Rules, Lady Serena, Sly Fox, and King Khan. And in the back line, we have Juicing, Lil Half Squat, Chum Lee, and Atlas Wolfgang. If you're unfamiliar with Beyond All Reason, the objective is to kill all 8 of the enemy commanders. And to do that, you'll need to balance your energy and metal resources, as well as your build power, so that you can build buildings, then you use those buildings to build units, and you use those units to kill the enemy. Circles that are lining the map are all metal extraction points. That's where all your metal can be collected, of course. Each team will start around a small cluster of them to get them started. Words of wisdom from a spectator here. Many single mothers in my area pining for my affection, but I only see beyond all reason. And I have to agree. I could be going to college or doing something productive with my life, but we're here to watch mechanical carnage unfold right before our eyes. And have some early scouts come out for the blue team and the red team both. Well, the red's a little faster getting some tier 1 combat units to the field. The blue team will not be far behind them. There's a number of advantages and disadvantages to using tier 1 instead of scouts. Tier 1 definitely a little bit better at defending, as they have higher DPS and higher health typically than scouts do. Scouts are much faster though. So if you're trying to be aggressive and get in your opponent's face, Scout's probably a better way to go. If you're trying to defend your own expansion, maintain the front line a little more with a little more stability. Building some tier 1 combat units like the pawns or grunts. A good way to go. We have an early bomber actually. O'Brien is going to score 1 mech's kill. And another mech's kill. 2 mechs is killed with a blue bomber. Being a pain in the ass for the red team right now. That's a big cluster of things to hit. Bombs. Another mech's going down. Gonna follow on to the next base. He'll get the bombs off. He will lose the bomber, but that was the juiciest hit to date. He'll take out a mechs and a whole bunch of energy production. Slight disadvantage in the early game now. Not too much though. Chumlee was the one that definitely took the worst of the hits here. The rest only lost maybe 1 mechs at a time, which is not a critical loss, but it is annoying to deal with. Red's gonna respond with their own bombing run. I see your bombing run. And I raise you our own. Land a good hit there. Slightly missed that hit. He'll only take out some wind. If he doesn't get out of the anti-air, it's not going to be good. Gets the rest of these bombs off. Now that's going to be a nice hit right there. Matlock loses most of his energy production. Actually, all of his energy production. And some metal. That was a good hit. Both teams now scoring solid hits. And we have a commander battle at the north. Gronko versus Linux. Gronko's got the HP advantage.
Commander self-destructed.
Has no radar, so I think perhaps he's backed off. Maybe to wait for units. Looks like that's what he's doing. He's going to push in.
Commander
Not going to give Linux the time to build any kind of static emplacement. Linux is in danger here. Down at the south. So far, nothing outrageous happening. Blue not quite holding the front with any particular stability. Red's definitely got a better front line. Bronco can make something happen here. It looks like he's pulled back and he's going to build some static defense. He has scored himself a 3.2 metal spot. Most metal spots on this map are 1.8. But not a stable spot yet. He's going to need more military for sure. Meanwhile, a scout is just simply planted at the north corner of the map here. Blue's going to send a fighter in and just clean that up. Blue finally getting a more able combat line established. Of course, the more spread out units are, the harder it is to defend against something like this. Tanks might just simply blow through here. They're going to actually turn around. One look at the commander was enough to convince them they're not quite ready to risk their lives fully yet. I don't blame them. Commander's D-gun can one-hit pretty much any enemy in the game except for the commander. And especially with these tier 1 units, it's capable of getting multiple kills in one shot. So 3 blue commanders at the front, 4 red commanders. Actually, it's 4 on 4. A proper frontline engagement here. An attempted probing of the defenses here. Some light tanks on red coming through. There's actually a gap here. They could shoot it. Fly Fox brings his commander up, kills 2 units. There's a big gap in the defenses right now. Will he capitalize? Gonna reclaim a little bit of that metal. He will pull his tanks back. A reason to get greedy, but I think greed would have been the right call there. Completely undefended, would have completely kneecapped blue. Almost all of these mexes are undefended right now, so that would have been a nasty attack. The north side of the middle here. Missile trucks absolutely tearing into these pawns. They badly outranged the pawns. Ballad Eater on the blue team pulling his commander in order to get some easy metal. Down on the south end of the battlefield here. Pawn v pawn. However, blue team has a considerable firepower advantage in that engagement with the commander being nearby. Red team, though, following up with some rocket bots. This will make it difficult to maintain any kind of static emplacement. The response here, rocket bots and some plasma bots of their own for blue team coming into the front. At the moment, all sides stable. However, with a considerable energy advantage for red team right now. They seem to be scaling their economy slightly better at the moment. See how that plays out over time. Light tanks directly engaging these stouts right at the middle. Stouts backing off. Sly Fox pulls the commander in, gets a little more metal. Now, every little bit helps. 200 metal is not a small amount. A couple of units worth at this early stage of the game. Kill 1 tank and you can build 2 of your own. Ballad Eater, though, using these missile trucks has given him a strong advantage. He's going to need some help here. Blitz tanks and whistlers over here, making it very difficult for him to do anything. Now the commander, red commander Lady Serena, is in danger. Basically no units at the front. Should just retreat completely from here. Probably a full retreat would be what I would recommend. Yes, there we go. Dangerously standing there. Nobody's quite coming to the aid yet. Maybe nobody has noticed. There's blue pings going down. But the north lane here, Lady Serena runs in. all of the currently existing grunts, or pawns, sorry. Actually able to close distance with the missile trucks and just lay into them at point-blank range. Actually kills quite a few of them. Ballad Eater now is in trouble. Most of his missile trucks went down. He gets the full surround.
Commander destroyed.
Sly Fox's military units pull in with a whole bunch of light tanks, get the surround on Ballad Eater, and take him down. Overcommitted with the attack there. There's now 2,000. 2,000 metal. In Red's area of influence here. Red team definitely has the advantage. Could close in and take this. Gonna move in with the rocket bots. There's a Janus here that's putting in some real damage, but that alone won't be enough. Some tanks come in. Blue. Rushing to retake that spot to keep that metal into control. Red's rocket bots getting run down now. Too many high-speed units. Both sides back off. Blue just trying to keep control. He's actually cut off. Sly Fox ran in with some tanks in the back area. Right in the rear flank of Blue's advance. Ballad Eater had to pull back his own forces. Now, he's got a constructor in there trying to reclaim as much of this metal as possible, but is barely going to get anything. These rocket bots by Red are going to come in and clean up that construction. Now, Red has control of the salvage area and is currently using a res bot, getting most, if not all, of the metal. So the battle for the metal has ended. Red came out on top there. That's a huge gain. Lady Serena should be swimming in metal right now from that. Well, I say swimming in metal if they are spending their metal correctly, which they are right now. Gifted a tier 2, or perhaps purchased a tier 2 bot. They're now improving their metal construction, putting that scrap to good use. But there's another metal pile forming up here. The fight between Lady Serena and Ballad Eater has been intense and constant, but Lady Serena has so far come out on top. With the help, of course, of Sly Fox. Once again, 3,000 metal right here at the center. In the north lane, Lady Serena mass-producing rocket bots to replenish forces. Should be able to take control of it and get that scrap. Down here in the south lane, what's been going on down here? We got Sly Fox and Atlas Wolfgang for the red team, fighting against Escanor and Matlock for the blue team. Furfur down on the cliff side has some artillery set up, but they're a little bit out of range at the moment, so can't really do much except poke at the outer edges of Red's combat formation. But not all is going well for Red. While Lady Serena has been building up and getting a considerable amount of rocket bots, I think now's the time to push. If Lady Serena pushes out completely, Sly Fox is actually going to run in and maybe get some reclaim for himself. That's right, he's going to get the commander. Ballad Eater's commander is now being consumed by Sly Fox. These rocket bots are pushing in. Blue's going to have to respond, which is great because if you look at the north side, right outside of Red's cliffs, is a massive wave of plasma bots. Very, very dangerous amount of units there. Could probably just simply walk up this hill, if I'm being honest with you. I think there's enough here that they could just go up the hill. Lady Serena taking time. Rebuilding some mechs. Maintaining control of the scrap pile here in the middle. Blue is retreating some of the plasma bots, Nice Man's plasma bots, pulling back a little bit from the cliffside. Perhaps they're taking artillery fire? Yes, artillery fire raining down on them now. The battle in the south lane, just as brutal as before, but Sly Fox. These tanks are outranged by Blue's missile trucks. And we've got 3 tanks. 3 light tanks got by. Panicked pings by red team. Is there anything to stop this? 1 mech will go down. No static defense, but the commander is here, King Khan. Could simply turn around and shoot this. Did not use his commander there. Sly Fox actually pulls some tanks in to try and deal with this. King Khan luckily loses nothing, but I'm wondering if they're even in the game right now. There he goes. Now he's moving. Meanwhile, up in the north lane, Lady Serena's been putting these rocket bots to good use and has maintained consistent control of the scrap at the center. But has decided for the most part to maintain a tier 1 production line. Is that a good choice? Let's find out. Blue team in the north. Nice man walking right up the cliff. But an attack from only one ramp is going to be more than enough to defend against. Fly Fox and Lady Serena pushing out in the middle for red team. Rocket bots and tanks making short work of everything. These static emplacements are starting to collapse. A quick scout run by, trying to get some vision, I guess, on Escanor's position. Is going to show he's got very little in the way of, or perhaps he's just trying to sight in for the artillery. But he's not going to have very much in the way of static emplacements. It's going to be a unit battle for the most part from here on out, I think. Escanor coming in with his own rocket bots. But up on the north lane, Nice Man spent a lot of units trying to push up that hill. Now he's got few to work with. These rocket bots are going to come in and lay massive volley fire on the remaining thugs. All of them nearly damaged, or damaged and nearly destroyed from the previous fight. They get just wiped completely out. Bronco now pulls his own units away, thinking that he's going to be needed. He's out of, he's run himself pretty low on energy there. Built too many jammers. Matlock in the blue, in danger. Gets a huge D-gun shot. Obliterates a whole bunch of Red's plasma bots. Should be able to survive this. Can't quite get focused down. The offense grinds to a halt. Sly Fox is going to need some more units. Down in the south, an attempted run-by shut down by Red Team. If there was ever a time to start going to tier 2, I think this is it for Red Team. Lady Serena, at the very least, is in a pretty good position to make the jump. Decent number of rocket bots at the front to maintain a defense. And that is, in fact, what they are going to do. With the massive surplus of metal collected from the battlefield, plenty of build power at home, has consumed the tier 1 factory. Tier 2 is now up and running. We should see at least one constructor made if they even decide to do that, to be honest. I think they already have a tier 2 constructor somewhere. They might go straight for combat units. Nope. They will go for the constructor first. Lady Serena still has plenty of space here to operate, though their commanders are dangerously far forward. They're really risking a lot here, trying to get as much of this metal as possible. Linux gonna come in, D-gun a jammer. Serena collecting quite a lot of this metal here. Pause request coming out. Escanor has lagged out.
Battle paused.
Nor gave all units to O'Brien. O'Brien's gonna have a considerable little income boost there. Meanwhile, Linux rules building a walled metal extractor. Excuse me. Linux rules should pull his commander back shortly. He's walking into beamer fire now. He is way too far forward. I think he is not watching at the moment. Oh, takes an artillery shot right to the chest. That commander gets killed for free. Linux rules there, letting his commander get away from him there. Now 6-6 on the commander count. We have some unit spam coming out. Iceman trying to get a bunch of plasma bots to the front to reinforce. Artillery fire coming down from Linux rules, though. May have lost his commander, but All is not lost on the firepower front at least, but I think even with that artillery there, well, they are in range. The jammers in position here are making it basically impossible to target it with artillery, so he should be able to take that metal, and that's going to be a considerable metal increase. Absolutely massive amount of metal there to take at this stage of the game. He should be able to go to tier 2 off that easily. Tier 2 units now on the field for blue team. Jaguars coming to the front, as well as some Mausers. They're going to land some hits on these rocket bots. 3 hits getting taken right now. Lady Serena doing something else. Not watching the front right now, just taking free hits. Not yet working on any tier 2 units. Probably should do that soonish. Gonna walk forward with the rocket bots, attempt to put some hurting on them. The lighter units getting taken out. Rocket bots still have pretty good damage per shot, but it does take a considerable volley to do real damage. The Jaguars just simply come in. He needs to spread these rocket bots out. They're going to be hard to shoot at, or to they're going to find it hard to shoot at the Jaguar. Sumo armored bots coming in for juice. We're now reaching a tier 2 game here. There's a massive tier 1 army down here for blue team. Up at the north side, right under the cliffs of red team. Who will win, one sumo or the entire blue team, is the question. And so far, it is the sumo that is winning. But enough Mauser shots will put him down. Finally taken down. Down at the bottom, there's the major attack. Blue team comes down off the cliff. Now just simply going to fight in, but there are gunslingers in position here. They definitely out DPS those tanks. There's a lot, well, they were tanks, now it's claimable metal. Some of the metal's even in range for the construction turrets to target. 2,000 metal now lying in the ground there. Lady Serena. Maybe a little bit too much on the build power front, to be honest with you. But all the construction turrets very rapidly building each other, getting a bunch of build power in a very short order. Lady Serena will now have a considerable force of hounds here, with a single radar bot helping for targeting. Radar bot gets taken down. That's a lot of Mausers though, gonna pull back. Down on the south lane. Atlas Wolfgang standing off, still on tier 1 units at the moment. Actually, he's not supported. Does he have any units over here? Atlas Wolfgang doesn't seem to have any units over here. Some kind of a self-destruction attempt was done here. Seems to have stunned and I presume locked up the economy, maybe. I actually don't know if that was meant to do anything. Tier 3 units now on the field for red team. A bombing attempt by blue team. Radar sonar plane trying to spot here, figure out where they need to go. Didn't get very far. A push by the Ballad Eater. Ballad Eater and Lady Serena jousting all game so far. Delivering hits on each other, but Lady Serena's come out on top most of the time and maintained control of the metal. It's paid off in her favor. These lightnings, they got to get a little bit too close to do damage there, so the hounds chew them up before they can really get in range. Now some radar bots accidentally walking into the line of fire will go down. The Ballad Eater has to back off yet again. 3,000 metal left. Lady Serena can take that metal pretty comfortably. Not anything that can really challenge this wall of hounds at this time. Up in the north, coming down off the cliff, juicing, and Linux rules. Simply attack straight down the cliff. Gunslingers and other various tier 1 units engaging in close range combat with a huge tier 1 force. There's 6,000 metal built up there from the carnage. Down in the south, red pushes up the cliff. Massive damage has been done here, mostly to red. A few of blue static emplacements have gone down, but that is a lot of metal that red has given over to the blue team down on the bottom cliff side there. Here at the middle, Lady Serena fighting with hounds, landing shots. Blue was able to get close, though. Actually took quite a few of the hounds out. Lady Serena's lacking for combat units now. Up on the north, right under the cliffs. So far, they've maintained control. This one fat boy is going to do massive damage here. Just huge clusters of blue tier 1 units get taken down with every shot. But they are running dry on units up at the top. Ballad Eater sticking with the Jaguars despite their ineffectiveness against the Hounds so far. Gonna try a run by, I think. Just don't even... wait, why bother fighting? Simply run on by then. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to be microing them properly. They don't get past there. Lady Serena manages to defend with her commander. Up in the top, gunslingers pushing forward. Self-healing skirmisher type bots. Not the best for everything, but pretty solid. Just enough DPS to be a real problem against tier 1 forces, and the fact that they repair themselves can really pay off, but you do have to back off for quite a while to really benefit from that. Whoa, there's a huge run by here. Right up the middle. 3 Razorbacks. The red team has just simply run straight through the front line, cutting into the front line players' economy. That's going to be Matlock's base going down first. He's lost pretty much all production, although he still has some fusion reactors. Shurikens come in to paralyze the Razorbacks. Only one base will be lost here. And he's still got the energy production to come back from that. That's not a lost position, but he will need some help to hold the front. Up in the north, the brutality of this fight cannot be understated. Many units have died here. Blue pulsars, or starlights. I'm gonna call them pulsars, right? The stationary ones are pulsars. The starlights are the mobile version. They're coming in. Accompanied by thugs. It's not enough to push up this cliff, surely. They're just simply going to walk right up it. They've got some heavy tanks leading the assault, trying to eat shots. One of the starlights goes up in flames, does a considerable amount of damage to the rest of the tier 1 units from its explosion. That's going to make it easy pickings, but there's so few combat units by red here. Some heavy armor sumos stand in between blue and red. The last line of defense here, and it's not the last of the army either. Absolutely crushing this blue attack, but there's only so much. There's a nuke coming in. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit on the red cliff, close to the front. Red's base is secure, but all of his forward position is gone, as well as all of his, as well as all of that wind production. That red, that north cliff might be done for, but it's not the end of the world here. On the south side, blue's entire forward position is basically gone. There's just a massive 30,000 metal in wreckage here. Just 5 res bots could clean this up in no time, and could lead to a snowball effect. But do you even need them? Some recluse all-terrain spiders and tier 3 marauders coming in. Marauders, excuse me, not the most powerful unit, of course, but they are quite fast for a tier 1 unit, and they're perfect for this kind of operation, raiding right past the line. Up in the top and bottom, the cliff sides have surrendered from both sides, but up in the top, it's only tier 1 units. Here in the bottom, though, red team has tier 3 marauders available. They've gotten through mostly untouched. Gunships coming in trying to land some airstrikes on them. Not going to be enough. These marauders are going to get in everywhere. O'Brien's entire fucking economy is going down. It's a travesty. A complete massacre. The whole base is going up in smoke. Now dragons coming in. O'Brien bringing in his flying fortresses a little bit too late. And they needed to be hitting them while they were up on the cliff. It's too late now. Most of O'Brien's base is gone. Up in the top. We have scout spam coming across the middle. Red scouts flooding across. Blue scouts meeting them. And a bombing run, looks like. Radar and sonar planes coming in, preparing to drop bombs. Oh, hang on. I've clicked on something at some point. Sorry about that. Blue bombers have made it all the way through the south side. Despite losing so much on their end of the map, air's gonna come in and try and clean up some of this damage. King Khan not prepared for that. Bombers cannot get into the back. They do clean it up, but he loses a lot of build power. Chumlee in the backside. Oh, one of the bombers is still alive. Doesn't get anything off though. A few bombs. There's still a couple of bombers left. Luckily, nothing else quite explodes. He's not able to take out the advanced fusion reactor and get that chain reaction. Atlas Wolfgang with just a commander. Commando. Wolfgang the Commando running up in there, doing a bunch of damage by himself. Using the D-gun to clean things up. He engages Cloak to stay hidden while he retreats. What's the battlefield look like? Well, the battlefield is not looking good for Blue. Despite the successful bombing run, the push up at the top on Red's cliffs just wasn't strong enough. It was mostly tier 1 units trying to push up these cliff sides. And so Red's been able to hold.
Commander has died.
Meanwhile, on the south side, that
Battle
Marauder run
paused.
by. We have a pause here. Looks like Linux Rules has either disconnected or is currently disconnecting. Game resumes. What's it looking like? Red has the resource advantage. Blue in desperation, sending a ton of scouts in tier 2 in a never-ending stream. Trying to intercept. There might be just enough red units here to stop anything from getting through. There are some heavy tanks coming in. There's really not a lot of defenses here. Blue trying to cluster units up. Oh, and a nuke actually lands down in the bottom. King Khan's base was unprotected by anti-nuke. So King Khan gets dropped. He still has his tier 3 gantry, but that's going to put an end to his Marauder running. In the meantime, a Thor tank, a red Thor tank at middle, having to contend with numerous small units. Getting completely overwhelmed there. Red's gonna bring their own units in. Sly Fox coming in to help out Chun-Li's experimental Thor. Up in the north side, the cliff. They've successfully pushed Blue almost all the way back out. Now it's back to the ramp. Another Thor up there. Chun-Li with 2 Thors on the map. Managing to be a huge problem for Blue right now. Giving them the time they need at the moment. Marauders hitting back onto the field. This time, Atlas Wolfgang is taking over production. King Khan working to get his economy back up and running. Currently running at 388 energy and 9 metal. He's basically starting over from scratch. But with this tier 3 gantry here, he could reclaim all that metal if he needs it. In fact, if he builds some metal storage, I think he can actually store all of the metal that he gets back from that and get back up to at least tier 2, which is what I would do in this situation. It's going to take a lot of metal and build power to build tier 3 units. Might as well reset to tier 2, I think. The resource advantage has evened a little bit back out for the most part. What I thought was a done deal has turned out to be a more even battle. Blue team trying to build advanced metal extractors right at the front. Probably not wise at this point. I think energy converters are going to be the way to go. There's a lot of metal left unclaimed. In fact, might as well send... I'm pretty sure combat engineers can reclaim. Might as well send those combat engineers down to the south and try and take some of this metal that's left on the ground. Red with a Titan at midfield. Supported by a Vanguard, hilariously. Perched up on the very top here. Gonna give it a huge combat range. Gonna be able to launch artillery bombardments from quite a long ways away. Red has now pushed blue entirely out of the cliff. They're just needing to hold those choke points now. Blue trying to re-engage here at middle. Heavy assault tanks and Razorbacks trying to close in, but these Titans are going to become a problem. There's now 3 Titans. If 1 Titan wasn't enough, a 4th Titan. We're just mass producing Titans at this point. Chum-Li here. The overwhelming Titan count is going to push in. The Thor's coming in to support these Titans. Meanwhile, Sly Fox bringing his tanks in. Got a huge tank plan, or a tier 2 tank run. And another Marauder run by. This time way bigger than last time. 20 Marauders coming in. The Titan push is continuing. The lead Titan at less than half health, but there's 3 Titans behind him. All this for a drop of blood. 1 Titan about to go down, but you still got 3 more you got to deal with. Meanwhile, Sly Fox and his gigantic tank line just simply pushing through. Matlock's commander caught out. He's gonna go down. The Marauders, instead of running by in the south, have decided to meet up with Sly Fox's tank line and run him clear through the middle. Actually a good plan there. Just simply overwhelm them. Total A move here. Attack move to the center. Tanks get into the Ballad Eater's base. Marauders getting into Matlock's base. Huge build power, oh my god, catastrophic chain reaction. O'Brien's entire constructor turret line goes down, and so does several fusion reactors, and the advanced fusion reactors go up. O'Brien eliminated. Matlock's base completely gone. The entire front is collapsed. This game is over. Anti-nuke is down, he calls out. There's nothing left, surely. Red sending some bombers to the south. Blue's gonna turn his fighters around. They might be too far ahead. Sly Fox's tanks continue. Not every... some of these bombers are gonna get in. They're gonna target. Boom! There go the advanced fusion reactors. Another base goes down. That'll be it. Red team. Difficult battle, but a convincing victory. Well done to all players. Congratulations to King Khan, Atlas Wolfgang, Lil Half Squat, Chum-Li, Sly Fox, Lady Serena, Juicing, and Linux Rules. You are the victors here. Well done. And that'll conclude this cast of Beyond All Reason. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.